Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of your favorite Ravens YouTube channel and podcast, Talking Ravens all day, every day, with your host Justin P. and my two MVP billion-dollar co-hosts, Miss Shannon Finch, and my man is back, better than ever, Superman today, Super Dave the Mailman, David Woods.
And
Um,
just a super.
okay, Super Dave. Uh,
Now,
uh, Episode 162 for the YouTube version, for the audio version. The links are below in the description for those who can't watch live. This is season 2, episode 59. So episode 60 will be the last episode of season 2. Then we'll start season 3. As y'all know, this podcast has been going on for 3 years now. Yeah. First started with me and AJ, and Shannon and Dave came on board, and the thing kept rolling. We got some great topics today. All three was put together. Talk about last week's preseason game, upcoming game versus the Cowboys. Some, some media stuff involving John Harbaugh, Daniel Faalele, some odds and likely injury stuff. So, we gotta get right into it. So, first topic, we're gonna give grades for last week's preseason game. Even though it's preseason, we still got grade the players. So we're going to start with the quarterbacks. Nice. Floor is yours, Shannon.
I'm giving quarterbacks a B minus. 59 passing yards combined. That's horrible. They both threw for interception. You don't get much better than that. So B minus.
Well said. Go ahead, David.
yeah, I'm gonna grade on a curve. I'm gonna give him a C. Cooper Rush, he only went 2 for 4, 16 yards. He threw a pick. I'm not really worried about him because he's still one of the better backup quarterbacks in the league. He's won a lot of games for the Cowboys, so I'm not worried about Cooper Rush. But Devin Leary, he needs some milk because he just couldn't get the offense going at all. He needs to step it up if he's going to find a way to stay on the roster because he's been released before and they brought him back. And if you're going to keep a third quarterback job, I'm going to need to see some improvement.
Both of y'all been pretty generous. I'm gonna give that shit an F plus. I was there front and center. It was terrible. It was hard to watch. Like we literally had to run the football to put up points, which is great. But that Cooper Rush, I'll give him a tad bit of grace. He did just get here in the off season, so. But two interceptions between both of them, only 100 yards passing, both of them under 50%. Yeah, like I said, it wasn't for the running game. This would have been a very, very ugly performance offensively. So F plus. All right, now we're gonna go with the running backs. Floor is yours, Sean.
I give them an A. I mean, they all had over 100 yards combined. They had 2 touchdowns collectively. Like, I don't know what more you could want from them with what we had out there. So I give them an A.
Okay, go ahead, Dave.
Hey, real quick, hey Shannon, you kind of like cutting in and out, man. Just want to let you know. But as far as the running backs, A plus plus, the running backs did an excellent job. My man, Mr. Electric Keaton Mitchell, is officially back. 68 yards on 9 carries and a touchdown. That touchdown run was awesome. He looked like he got a little bit stronger too because he had to break a couple tackles. Keaton Mitchell's not a very big running back. But then Rasheen Ali, he ran the ball well too.
Right.
37 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah.
He got a little power with him too. I like Rasheen Ali, but for these to be our number 3 and number 4 string running backs, I think we're doing good. Dearness Johnson did pretty good too.
Yeah.
So I mean, I know we're not gonna keep 5 backs, but the running backs were awesome. Plus, man. Oh, plus Rasheen Ali. Let's talk about that 69-yard kickoff return. You could never have enough guys that can return kicks and punts because the kick return is back. And I'm glad that it's back because that's one of my favorite plays of football.
Mm-hmm.
So, the more you can do, the better that you can, stand out.
Well said. Yeah. Like I said, we was right high with him last year. He had a little injury set him back, but the few carries he did get during the season, he ran hard. And now he looks fully healthy. Like you said, the kick return, he had some good runs. Keaton Mitchell looked good. Darren Johnson had some pretty decent runs, but like I said, this running back position, man. Oh Lord, man, it's including Doug Henry and Justice Hill, of course, who didn't play. We got something here, so I give them an A plus because, like I said, they stole the show. They were the reason why we put up the points we put up, and plus the special teams. Let's give Shannon a second. See, she cut back in. She had more technical difficulties, but yeah. And plus, like I said, the practice squad is going to be lit. So there's going to be a lot of good,
Right.
a lot of great players on the practice squad. I'm from all over.
Exactly. I mean, I think other teams are really going to try and get into our practice squad because whoever we don't keep, they're going to look. They're going, because there's going to be some guys. We're going to have to cut some good players that can help other teams.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Like I said, it's only 53. Why you think David Ajabo went out there and balled the way he did? I mean, we'll talk more about that. But all
Right.
right, we'll keep it rolling. Shannon can just pop in. All right, so the offensive line, Dave, give me your grades on that.
Offensive line, I'm gonna give them a B. They did a great job opening holes for the running game. You can't have no running game without a good offensive line.
Yeah,
They missed a few blocks in the passing game, but good job by the backups. And these are the backups too. They only gave up one sack,
yeah.
so good job by the offensive line. I'm gonna give them a B.
I'm in the same ballpark. I'm gonna give him a B plus because, like I said, yeah, they gave him one sack, but I think more so the passing was the quarterbacks missing reads and holding the ball too long. You only gonna get 3 seconds.
Right.
The NFL, like you only gonna get 3 seconds. And the run, they open up holes in the run game very well. The running backs can't run through all 11 tackles, so like you said, Corey Bullock and them guys, they look pretty good. Andrew Voorhees looked like he's trying to win that job spot, and the other person we'll talk about in a few topics. He did okay, but so I'll give him a B plus. Shannon's back. All right, Shannon. Now we on the O line. Shannon, give me a grade.
Hang on for a second.
Yeah, you sound good now. You back. Now, hey, girl. Hey.
Yeah.
I give them a D.
O line.
I feel like, yeah, I
Hey,
don't. I feel like,
we were being
well,
nice, I guess.
I didn't hear what y'all said, but I felt like I always feel like the offense goes as the offensive line goes, and I feel like we talked about Faalele a lot, his failures and things like that, but it wasn't their best showing. And again, it's hard to grade the preseason because it's not the guys that you expect to see during the season. But I give them a D. I mean, it wasn't nothing that collectively.
Oh well, Dave gave a B. I gave a B plus because of the rushing yards we had. I mean, they missed some blocks and pass pro. That's why our grades were. But we ran for over 100 yards, so you can count for something, I guess. Shannon tougher. Ooh, I guess the O line will go out there and block the above this week, please, Shannon.
I hope so.
All right, wide receiver, we group them as a whole. So the wide receivers and tight ends as a whole. Shannon, give me the floor is yours.
I gave them a C. It really wasn't much to judge them off of. Collectively, I wouldn't say they did anything bad, but it was hard to really judge them because they didn't get a lot of action. So C.
Man, line. Good, Dave.
I'm gonna give the wide receivers an I, which is for incomplete. I'm gonna give the receivers a pass. I'm gonna say incomplete due to poor quarterback play. They really didn't get a chance to show much anything. 59 yards passing. We already talked about that. But LeJohntay Wester, he did a good job with a couple opportunities. He had 41 yards of that 59, 2 catches. But that punt return, that was the play of the game. Wester is a big play waiting to happen. I really think we got a steal in the 6th round by getting him.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
So you gave my I. I'll give him a C. Because Kolar made some cool catches. Like you said, John T. Weston made some cool catches. Couldn't really do much, like you said, like lackluster quarterback play. So I'm gonna give him a C. To give him the benefit of the doubt, because like I said, the receiver can't throw the ball to themselves. All
Hmm.
right, now it's time to go to the defense. I think they played pretty well. Let's go with the interior defensive line. Go ahead, Shannon.
Mm, I'll give them a B, C. Like want to grade him on a curve, we can. Um, but it's nothing really memorable to me about the defensive line like that stands out as far as what they did. So I'll just give him a B.
Okay. Go ahead, Dave.
I'm gonna give him an A. I think the defensive line did a good job. They got some pretty good pressure a few times on the Colts quarterbacks, and I'm glad to see David Ajabo has some success, get a sack. And it's good to see a decent Isaac, our third round pick from last season. He was hurt most of the season. So he was a good player at Penn State. So I'm glad to see him get a sack. I'm glad to see him get some success. And our rookie Aeneas Peebles, he was getting in there in the backfield a lot. He made a couple plays as well. So defensive line did a good job, but I gotta show love. I love what I saw from Mike Green. He was relentless. He was this close to having 3 or 4 sacks. I'm thinking I was seeing a young version of Terrell Suggs out there. So give me some more of that. Defensive line did a good job. Give him an A.
I give him A plus. CJ Okoye he couldn't be blocked. He was out there dominating tackles, got on some sacks. CJ Ravenel got on a sack. Nias people, like you said, got on a sack. You know, Jason Jones held the point of attack and double team. You know, those guys up front, like I said, they're not gonna always get all the crazy numbers, but they did a lot, and then they held the Colts running game on the check, and then like I said, they pushed the pocket a lot on all three quarterbacks. So I give them A plus. So
Yeah.
the edge rushes, you spoke a little bit briefly on this. Go ahead, Shannon.
I give him a B plus. Everything David said before. The sacks, the pressure. I mean, I feel the same way about Mike Green. Like he's everything we probably hoped him to be and what we've needed. Um, B plus. They did great.
Okay, go ahead, Dave.
Yeah, I'm also going to give him an A as well. Like I said, Mike Green, he's going to be a problem. I can't wait to see how they use him because we have so many guys. That they got to find a way to get him on the field. That's all I know.
I give them an A as well. Like I said, Jabba had a sack, DC had a sack, Mike Green stopped the run, set the edge. Um, who else was out there? Man, them guys look good. I think had a couple of undrafted guys up there rushing the passer. But yeah, overall, he looked good. So I gotta give him an A. All right, the off-ball linebackers, run hit cover guys. Go ahead, Shannon.
Well, see, I didn't do my grades like that. I get when I said B plus, I was saying collectively all of them linebackers. I was saying linebackers collectively.
Right. Let's do
Um,
lineback. Let's do linebackers. Period.
middle linebackers. To be honest with you, nobody really stood out to me.
Okay, I can't
With the
wait.
middle linebackers, and that's something I'll get into later when we talk about what we want to look into for the next game. But when we talked about a lot this offseason, competition for Trenton Simpson, I don't see it. I mean, if y'all see it, then tell me. But I didn't see too much
Okay.
competition where I was like, okay.
So B plus. Go ahead, Dave. Your time.
I'm gonna give him an A. I like what I see from the 2 young linebackers. My new favorite undrafted player is Jay Higgins. He was all around the ball. He only had like 2 tackles, but he made a big play when he dropped in coverage and got that interception. I really hope that he makes the team because he was a baller in Iowa last year. The only reason he didn't get drafted is because he didn't have good numbers in the combine. But if you turn on the tape, this guy was he just finds a way to get around the ball. So I like what I see Jay Higgins. Remember that name? Trent Simpson, he did well. We're counting on him to take the next step this season. I need to see Simpson taking that next step. You know, he had a little up and down last year, so we'll see. But the competition for him is better. Teddy Buchanan, our fourth round pick, he played pretty well, and I want to see some more of him next week. I want to see him, give him a chance to start. And let's really see what he can do, Teddy Buchanan. So I like what the linebackers did. Give him an A.
I'm gonna give him an A. Dave basically hit on everything. I'm gonna say, so I'm gonna be brief. Trenton looked great. He looked much more comfortable now. Teddy Buchanan played pretty well. Chandler Martin played pretty well. Jake Hummel even played well. So yeah, and G Higgins with the big pick. So I definitely, and they stopped the run. The Colts ain't running the ball on us. So yeah, gotta give 'em a. All right. The DBs as a whole, secondary as a whole, corners and safeties. Go ahead, Shannon.
It sucks losing two rookies to injuries. The one during the game that we saw, I was gross. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe. First thing I said was, is his leg twisted? Like that looked, it looked bad. I feel bad for both of them. But I'll give them as a collective a B. They didn't have a touchdown scored on them. Like I said, for me with grading preseason, it's just hard because it's not the same grade that I would look at them, during a regular season. So I'll give them a B.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Dave.
I agree. I gave him a B as well. A lot of young guys out there improving and developing. TJ Tampa, he's on the right track. He made a few plays. He got beat a few times too. And another undrafted guy I like is Ruben Lowry. He wasn't bad at all. He made, he's out. He's around there making some plays. And like you said, Shannon, we're gonna miss them two rookies, man. Kone. I really wanted to see him. He made a couple of plays before he got hurt.
Yeah.
Longer beam. These are two 6 round picks, and even though they're 6 round picks, they were hyping these guys up. So, unfortunately, we're not going to see them, anymore this season. I don't know if Longer Beam's done for season, but I know he's on injured reserve.
Yeah.
But I like Lowry, and I like what TJ Tampa's doing. So, once again, when it comes down to it, these are probably our fifth and sixth corners because our top four is already locked up. So, Malachi Starks, he didn't really do too much. We didn't really need him to because everybody in front of him was doing a good job. So for his first game, I was okay with him. I'm really excited about him. Malachi Stark. So I think we definitely got our next star on defense right there. So, but yeah, I like what the DBs is doing. I'm gonna give him a B.
I'm gonna give him a B plus. Like you said, ain't got no touchdown. Like how Starks, he played pretty well. He was in position, and he forced a couple overthrows, incomplete passes. So he, like I say, he did his job. The numbers ain't gonna show up, but he did his job. But Lyle Corney was having a heck of a game. We got hurt. Definitely wishing him speed recovery. Jalen Davis balled out his mind. You ain't even bring that up. You might have, but yeah, he was knocking passes down, coming up, making.
Yeah,
He played out his mind. Uh, Sanuski Kane played pretty well. Bo Braid played pretty well. TJ Tampa was knocking stuff down. So I gotta give him a B plus.
yeah, Bo Braid, yeah, good one. I thought about him. He did a good job. He played good.
I think we all gonna be in agreement with this one. Special teams.
Oh, I give him a A plus. Weston had 104 yards and a touchdown by himself. We had good yard situations and other returns as well. Something we've talked about a lot this past season was something we needed was a returner, and I feel like we have that. Even if it's not just Wester, like as the collective, like they all did well. Um, Luke, he made all his extra points. He missed one field goal. Stout, mm, but because of what Wester did and what they did in the return game, A plus.
Oh, sad boy, David.
Yeah, everything you just said, A plus. Wester, that kick, that punt return was awesome, man. That punt return was awesome. I loved everything. The celebration was good too. Rasheen Ali, I said that 69 yarder. And Luke, man, Luke, you got some big shoes to fill, but he's doing a good job so far. 'Cause that 52 yard, this kid can boom it, man. That 52 yard had at least another 10 yards on it. So I like what we did. Special teams A plus. Let's go.
A plus, like you said, a return, touchdown. Machine Ali had a big return. Keaton Mitchell had some decent returns. Tyler Luke gonna be okay. He missed one. It's a rookie, expected. Whether it be preseason and the regular season, so he'll be fine. Jordan Stout, he'll be fine too. We didn't give up no big returns like that. Well, they had a decent return that we stopped, but hey, second A. All right, this
Mhm.
next topic shouldn't be too long. It's preseason. Let's go grade these three coaches. Let's start with the head coach, John Harbaugh. Even though he ain't had to do much. Great, Shannon.
Um, what I was going to say about the coaches was that what you just said, like, is what are we grading them on, right? So I just said B as a collective for all of them because I feel like
That's fine.
they were prepared. They had the guys prepared on both sides of the ball. Like you said, John Harbaugh didn't have to do much of anything. Todd Monken. It's not like they didn't do anything. They didn't do anything to make me say, what were you thinking? You know what I mean? So I'll give them a B. Everybody was ready and prepared and played hard.
I'll say, go ahead, David.
A plus. I mean, once again, this coaching the first game of preseason, stars on the sidelines, young players are just getting much needed reps and playing time. The backers did a good job and they won the game. So A plus. It's not much to do first game of preseason.
Hey, A plus was Zach Orr for sure. That defense played amazing. I was critical of it, so I gotta give him his credit. Appreciate it or not. You had the young guy playing. Todd Monken B plus. A couple things could have been called better, from a play call standpoint. And Harbaugh, hey, he didn't do nothing crazy, even preseason. So yeah, all together, hey. Uh, three takeaways from the Colts game. Go ahead, Shannon.
Um, like I said earlier, Wester and Mike Green look like what we've been missing and what we've been needing on this team. Just from the little bit that we saw, I feel like they're both gonna make a difference. Keaton Mitchell, he looked like he's back to him old self. He looked good. I was a little
Thanks, bro.
concerned because I heard Todd Monken saying, like this isn't 2 years ago. Like Derrick Henry wasn't here 2 years ago, and it made me feel like maybe Keaton Mitchell wasn't showing enough in practice or whatever they may have been doing. What they do. But seeing him in action, I think he looked good. He was trying to come back from injury last year, but I think he looked good. And lastly, I think it'll be hard for Jalen Auburn Davis to not make the team. Like David was, we were just talking about, these guys being the fifth, sixth, like however in the depth chart. I just think that the way he played, it'll be hard for him not to be on a team. Period.
Well said. Go ahead, David.
I'm just gonna say our backups are solid. That's my first takeaway. Because the backups are like insurance. If something happens, they gotta be ready to play. So, like I said, all down the depth chart, I'm comfortable with anybody. Our running backs, our receivers. Receivers they didn't get much of a chance to do the job, but we got a lot of really good receivers. You already know the top three goes without saying: Zay, Bateman, Hopkins. But after that, Devontae Walker. I want to really see him get a chance to have a opportunities in the preseason. Wester, I mean, this kid is a player. Tylen Wallace. Another guy that I kind of like a little bit is Keith Kirkwood. So we got a lot of receivers on the team, and we can only keep a couple of them. So just the backups are solid across the board, and it's a good job for the first game. We came out, played well. Guys fighting for jobs. So and the last takeaway, none of the starters got hurt. So that's it for the first game. I like what I see.
Me defensively, we ready. Even with the backups, like we play that good defensively without backups. I don't imagine how the starters gonna be. Look like Zach or finally figured it out. Then with Bogano back there with the DBs and Dean Pease helping out, so it's definitely paying dividends early. The running backs, right? If something like Derrick Henry have to miss a game or two, I will not worry. Just keep Mitchell look explosive, Rasheen Ali look explosive. You can see you still got Justice Hill, so that depth behind him is amazing. And Mike Green, the edge rushers look like we may be able to get sacks without blitzing all the time. Mike Green coming off the edge. Like I said, these sides can take a step in the job can finally put it together along with Owe and those guys and Cal Van Noy and Tavis Robinson. It could be pretty scary. 2023 we led the league in sacks. It could possibly be a repeat, especially with Beaks and those guys in front. So yeah, they're my three takeaways. Next topic, I'm looking forward to this one. If Daniel Faalele continues to struggle, should we bring in some competition? Good, Shane.
I mean, yeah. If they don't think it's anybody in house that can do a better job than him, definitely bring somebody in and tighten up that position. The fans were hard on him, and the coaches and players were defending him. I'll just say let's see what happens on Saturday. Some guys it's like you've seen enough and they are who they are, but he's here and he gotta be evaluated. So let's see. But yeah, if they don't think that somebody in house can do a better job, definitely bring somebody in.
Well said. Go ahead, David.
I'm not worried about him. I mean, the more he played last season, the better he got. I just think he had a bad game. He was dominant at times last season. He is one of our best run blockers. He's come a long way because coming into last season, he was on the bubble. Because we lost Kevin Zeitler, and we were like, oh man, who we gonna replace him with? So Faalele's come a long way. I mean, he came in from being on the bubble to a Pro Bowl alternate. So that means, you was at least a top 8 guard last year. So the only thing I'm
Or
worried
they
about
or they
him,
ran out of people to pick.
I mean, but once again, the Pro Bowl's not what it used to be. The game isn't, but just to be
Yeah.
nominated to the Pro Bowl still means something. That means that you.
Nominated to the Pro Bowl. I'm gonna just put that out there. Yeah, man.
Well, of course. I mean that's nobody cares about playing no more, but you still. But the only thing I'm worried about with him is he in shape because he is a big guy. He's 6'8", about like 370. So I think just as long as he's in shape, he'll be all right.
I'm gonna say yeah for Shannon. Because like I say, he's gonna get every opportunity because he was starting last year by default. And overall, given the circumstances, Coach Joe D'Alessandro's suddenly passing away, and then going from him to Coach George Warhop, he got better. He got better, but that's why it's a disappointment because now you done started a whole year. You should be picking up where you left off, not regressing. So if it don't get better against Dallas, we might got to bring in Brandon Sheriff and one of the veteran guys that's up there. So like I said, Super Bowl bust. We don't have time to be holding hands, and doing on the job training. So if he changes, absolutely. All right.
Not big. But and on top of that, he's on a contract year, so his play decides is he going to strike it rich next in the off season. So he better pick. Well, like I said, it's the first game, so we'll see.
We'll see. Yeah. Next topic: who are the Ravens' biggest competition to get to the Super Bowl? Interesting. Go ahead, Shannon.
I'll say the Bills and the Chiefs because we haven't beat them when it mattered.
That's agreed. I agree with that. That was it. Just the Bills and Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
Go
Because you
ahead.
said getting to the Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the usual suspects. Of course, like we just said, the Chiefs and the Bills. They the only two I'm really worried about. Because they also have improved. The Chiefs upgraded the offensive line. You got a healthy Isaiah Pacheco. He came back. Remember, he had that bad leg injury last year. The Bills, they add some more cornerback depth. So the only two I'm really worried about. But let's not sleep on a couple of these other teams have really stepped up. I think Denver's going to be dangerous.
Yeah, they made some moves.
I think the Chargers are also going to be dangerous. They're going to be tough as well because look how much better they got just with Harbaugh coming in last year. So,
Houston
you
too.
know,
They getting it.
yeah, so don't sleep on the Chargers. Omarion Hampton, that kid can run the ball. And, once again, you can't sleep on Pittsburgh. They have a lot of talent, especially on the defensive side of the ball. You added Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slate's that secondary. If they can figure out that offense, they can be a problem. So
So when you say don't sleep on them, do you just mean you think these things are going to be improved or be good, or you really think that if they played the Ravens in the playoffs, they could probably beat the Ravens or
I,
will
I
beat the
think I
Ravens?
think the Ravens will beat them, but at the same time, you never know. I mean, every year there's always teams that come out of nowhere and they get pretty close. Look at Washington last year. They got pretty close. I mean, Philly beat them, but who thought Washington was going to be that good coming into last season?
Right. Okay. Well, for me, Chiefs, Bills, and the Ravens. And the Ravens. The third one, because a lot of it self-inflicted. We beat ourselves a lot of time. The only playoff game in my last couple of years where we flat out just got our ass kicked. Y'all probably would agree with this. We can play the Titans, and that was because we made so many mistakes so early in the game. It was hard to recover. But other than that, the other playoff losses were self-inflicted. Fumbles, turnovers, missed opportunities. So we don't beat ourselves. I love our chances against either one of those teams if we play a clean game. Like the Bills, yesterday we 0-2 against them. Whatever. Okay, cool. Context matter. Both them games was in Buffalo, bad weather. Um, you know, you see what happened, self-inflicted mistakes. One we basically was one drive away from eventually going overtime beat them. Like I said, if you've seen what happened week 4 when we played a clean game, we destroyed them. So,
Well, you just said something about the weather, right? And I don't know. We got a team full of Florida boys, so I don't know what they need to do in the off season. But Lamar said something about the playoff game, and he was like, "It was cold, it was snowing, like it was something that they weren't used to." I kind of got a problem with that. Not that he's saying he's not used to it, but it's just that at the end of the day, this is football.
yeah, for
And a
sure.
lot of times football is played outside and we play in Baltimore. And in the wintertime, it's going to be cold. It might even be snowing here. Like, so I don't want to hear that it was too cold. And I don't want to hear about no snow because everybody out there is impacted by the same circumstances.
For sure.
And that's what I mean when I say play smart. Don't get outside yourself. Okay, if it's snowing, if it's raining, if it's wet, whatever, you got to figure out a game plan. That goes for the coaches and the players where the weather is not even a factor because after a while it becomes an excuse because you see other players go in these cold places and snowing and wet and this, that, and the third, and they're just playing a game. Like, so if you in your head already, like, oh my God, it's snowing outside, oh, it's icy outside, whatever the conditions may be, you lost already. So I just hope that they can get over that hump of it being cold or snow or ice because where we play at and who we probably going to play against, you're probably going to experience that in the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's very true because, like I said, it's not summertime here either in the wintertime. So, but Buffalo and Green Bay, those colds are and Chicago. Those three are a total different ball game. But
No, yeah. Remember how cold
Oh
it was
yeah,
when we played Denver in the Super Bowl run? How cold it was that year? Like it was freezing in Denver that year. So it's like you don't know what you're going to get in the playoffs. But I don't want weather to be the reason why they can't be themselves.
for sure,
yeah. I don't think that it was really an excuse. I think he was just saying he's just not used to it because I don't think weather had no factor while we lost the game last year. So
And I
well,
think I don't even maybe it wasn't an excuse. Maybe I should say I don't want to hear it because at the end of the day, that's the weather is a part of football. Unless you're playing in a dome, you want or you even if you in Miami and it's hot, that can impact you. You know what I mean? Like playing outside in the elements, that you can't let it get in your head like that. Because I didn't even think about the weather being an issue until I heard Lamar saying it, like, "Oh, it was snowy," or whatever he said when he first came back. And he was on a press conference, and I was like, I wish he didn't say that because it comes off like an excuse. Like we could say it's not an excuse, it's a reason or whatever, but when you start saying stuff like that, it's like, so now you blaming the weather. The Bills played in the same weather.
for
You
sure.
know, so that's all I'm saying is like, I'm saying for them, don't let it get in your head. Maybe in the off season, go play somewhere cold or practice somewhere cold where that doesn't become a thing for you. And not just Lamar. I'm just saying that could be all of them. There's a lot of Florida boys, and it's a lot of them that might be like, this is just too much for me. I don't want that from my team. Is what I'm saying. Like we've seen Ravens players have to play in some crazy weather, and they just play. Remember that daggone snow game against the Vikings?
Yeah, right. Yeah,
You know
22.
what I mean? So it's like just play football, man.
I'm gonna say this, then we move on. Our All-Pro tight end used the weather as an excuse why he dropped the ball, but
And didn't he get ate up? Weren't we still just talking about Mark Andrews because everybody was so mean to him from what they said? So it's like
poor Mark Andrews.
they need
Oh,
to do something. I don't know, figure it out. But I don't want to hear nothing about no weather come January and let's hope February.
right. All right. Speaking of tight ends, are you concerned about Isaiah Likely's injury? Good, Shannon.
I say yes and no. No, because I believe in Mark Andrews and Cola, and I feel like we're not going to miss a beat in that position with Isaiah likely being out. And even if he is back for week 1, he can be limited and it not be a big deal. Like remember when Kelsey was out for the Chiefs, like you could tell they needed him. I don't feel like we're going to be like, oh my god, we need likely back if we don't have him by week one. But yes, because foot injuries, like neck injuries, like back injuries, they just hard to heal from. And if you don't take your time and don't heal right or get a setback, like that can set you back even more. We can just list all the guys that have been injured in sports in general with those neck, back, feet, like foot, how long it takes for them to get back to themselves or even be, you know, like to feel comfortable. So I just don't want him to rush back. So more or less just concerned because of where the injury is. But as far as the team is concerned and productivity, I'm not concerned there.
Well said. What, David?
Yes, I am concerned about this. Isaiah likely has surgery for a broken bone in his foot, and that's at least a 6 week injury. Foot injuries are tricky. So I am concerned, but honestly, I think Charlie Kolar can step up and fill in for Likely while he's out. He's a talented tight end as well. He can't run like Likely, but he can hold it down. He's got some pretty good hands. He's a good blocker. So I still think we'll be okay, but I am concerned. When Marlon Humphrey a couple years ago, when he had that foot injury, he was in and out of the lineup a lot. So, I'm hoping that my guy Likely can come back and be all right.
I'm gonna say this from a scale of 1 to 10. I'm probably worried about it like at a 5. Cause like I say, he got surgery early, but it's been like a month now. So worst case scenario, he'll be back week 2. Cause that's about 6 weeks. What you said, Dave. Week 2. Likely. I mean, and Mark Andrews, Charlie Colon, Scotty Washington, they can hold it down to them. And then, like I said, with the receivers we got in the ring game. So yeah, week 2. Even if he come back week 3 against the Lions, that's fine. But like I said, we assume Eric DeCosta, he's done a good job of making sure the roster is pretty much set for us, depth. So like I said, a 5. If Mark Andrews wasn't here, then they'd be like, oh, it'll be a 10. But we're good. So it's not that big of a deal. He'll be back at some point. Most likely, probably between the first 3 weeks. All right. What do you make of John Harbaugh downplaying the Super Bowl busting right there? Ooh, wow. What a shame.
I think it's coach talk. Like I don't expect him to get up there and be like, if we don't win a Super Bowl this season is a failure. But in reality, it will be because this team is just too good to keep having playoff blunders. So him downplaying it, that's what a coach is supposed to do. You know what I
He's
mean? But I'm sure.
good of a coach to keep having playoff failures. Go along with that too.
Say it again. Say it again.
And he's too good of a coach to keep having playoff failures as well.
Yeah, coaches, team. When I say team, I mean all of them. I mean all of them collectively. They're too good to keep having blunders. So like I said, I remember during the Ravens Super Bowl run in 2000, they couldn't even Billick wouldn't even let them say the word Super Bowl because of you know.
It was
So
bad.
it's like,
It
yeah,
was,
but they knew what their goal was, right? So Harbaugh, he knows what it is. He's not going to get out here publicly and be like, "Yes, if we don't win, it's a failure." But he knows. He knows what needs to happen. So I hope it's different conversations being had privately than what he said publicly. But it's just coaches talk to me.
boy, Dave. Well said, Shannon.
Harbaugh's smart. He knows that it's Super Bowl or bust. One thing I like about Harbaugh is he's a smart coach. He knows what's on the line. He doesn't have to say it. He already does a good job handling the media. He knows what time it is. He knows that he has to get it done. The front office did their job in the draft. They made good moves. They re-signed Ronnie Stanley, bringing in DeAndre Hopkins and Jair Alexander. You don't make those kind of moves unless you're going all in. So Hardball, he knows what he's doing. Once again, one game at a time. Just like they said, and the team already knows that. When Hardball and Lamar, they're on the same page. So he knows what he's doing.
It definitely was clever. You don't want to give the media no type of sound bites and no press clipping. All balls. This is yeah. You don't want to do that. Then you don't want to get other teams up. To try to use it against you. He just go down playing all the other 31 things. He's smart. He been there before. He know how hard it is to get there. And like I was telling somebody all 32 teams want to get there. You feel me? So we're not the only team with that on our list. Like I said, you got to Super Bowls. You got to go take it. Like every talking to every like I said last year, you got to go take it. If you ask even the Jaguars, what's their goal? They're trying to win a Super Bowl. Is it realistically? Probably not. But still, all 32 teams want to get there, so you got to go take it. So he's playing it smart. He's not giving the media no soundbite to use against him because he's been burned by the media time and time again for certain stuff. So Harbaugh's playing it smart. All right, next topic. How many wins will the Ravens get this season? What is
I feel like when we went through the schedule before training camp, I feel like I said 14-3. I think I said losses to the Chiefs, Bengals, and Steelers. So I'll stick with that 14-3.
Okay. Same record, but not the losing to the Steelers.
Right. Hmm.
And Shannon, you in my head right now. I could say the same thing. 14-3. This is the best Ravens team I've ever seen. This is the deepest Ravens team I've ever seen. Even though we fell short last season, we had a loaded squad. That squad could have won the Super Bowl. No, we didn't. Of course, the Mark Andrews drop. We ain't got to talk about it no more. But that team was good enough to go all the way. So when you bring back pretty much you got the whole starting offense coming back except Patrick McCarry. But, Voorhees, he beat him out anyway to start off the season. And then you add Hopkins as your number three. He's going to start for a lot of teams in the NFL. So, any weaknesses from last year that we had, we upgraded. The only kind of weaknesses we had really was the secondary. And Stevens, you take Stevens out, you put Jair Alexander in there, and then don't Jadobe Awuzie, he can play too. So you got four stud corners. I'm gonna miss my guy Ardarius Washington, but you got Starks, the best safety in the draft,
I like
to
that.
go with to go. What? Come on, man. I mean, we got it this year. We've upgraded, so I'm gonna go 14-3. I was started to say 15-2, so 14-3. I think we lose to the Bills, but the only in week one, and the only reason I'm saying that is because every time I pick us to beat the Bills, we don't beat them. So I'm hoping it's reverse psychology. So you see what I'm trying to do here. So week one, week four with the Chiefs, same thing with the Chiefs. Every time I pick us to beat them, we lose to them. And we always lose a game that we should not lose. So I picked the Vikings in week 10. We go out there. They're all road games too. So 14-3.
Yeah, we're not losing to the Bills week one, especially after what just happened. But I feel you. We're not losing to Pittsburgh either, Shannon. Neither time. So
Well, I told you I said Pittsburgh because I said we would lose the last game because it would be a game that wouldn't matter. That's why I said Pittsburgh.
I got 14-3, 15-2. 15-2 if we only lose to probably like KC. And I think since he may get us one at one time, so we kind of got lucky last year. To be truthful with you, in that first game we played them, the ball went our way literally. So I think we'll split with them. And like I said, KC in the second one, KC, Kansas City, and probably a team like the Vikings, like we said, because if we don't win in Minnesota for some reason, I think we're like 0-4 there in Minnesota. So yeah, so 14-2, 14-3, 15-2. All right, last topic for today's show. We got a lot of attendance here today. Thank y'all for tuning in. You missed us. Saturday game versus the Cowboys. What position group or groups will you be watching closely to evaluate? Floor is yours, man.
Wide receivers and tight ends, like we said earlier in the show, we didn't get a good judging of them in the last game. So I would like to see more from them, whoever gets to play. Linebackers, I had wrote down middle linebackers, and since you guys are so high on what they did this week, I'm gonna have my eye on them. Well, you were high on what they did last week. I'm gonna have my eye on them this week. I want to see what I missed out on last week with the middle linebackers. And the DBs. Like you said, the DBs are pretty much the starting lineup, the starting five. That because I think they're probably going to do more like three cornerbacks out there a lot of times. So who your starting five is back there. But I want to see Jalen, Boo, TJ, Chidobe. I just want to see, how they what they do and how they can grow. So those are my groups: wide receivers, tight ends, linebackers, and DBs.
Go ahead, Dave. Well said, Shannon.
All right, before I get into the groups, I want to see Devin Leary. I want to see him. Look, he need to play most of the game or the whole game just to see if he's good enough to play in the NFL. Because that last week going against the eighth string was terrible. So like I want to see a little bit of Cooper Rush because Cooper Rush, he's accurate. Plus, I want him to get, I know we're not showing much of the offense, but I want to give the receivers some burn because like I said, we have a lot of guys, a lot of receivers. We got about 7 or 8 quality receivers, and we can only keep like 6 of them. So I want to see the receiver battle and really just the corners. Like I said, losing Kone, Longer Beam. We already know our top 4, but after that, you can never have enough corners because corners when they go down, that's been our Achilles heel the last couple of years. So just the receivers and corners. That's all. And Devin Leary, come on, man, pick it up, man. Come on, man, get a man some milk, man. Let's go.
He's some shit. What is him? He need to be back in groceries anyway. Offensive line, Daniel Faalele and Andrew Voorhees show us like, yeah, y'all two guys, just total enough starters. Um, Wide receiver for sure, like Devin Leary and Cooper Rush. Get these guys the ball so they showcase their talents better. Linebacker core, like you said, Trenton, like put on another good showing. Teddy Buchanan, J. Higgins, Chandler Martin. Um, Secondary again. We're gonna be missing Bilal Coney and Robert Long. I mean, so Jalen Armour Davis. I don't know if Shadowy Woozy play. He may play a little bit. TJ Tampa keep playing ball. Who else? Shit. Robin Lowry and all those guys like them. Bull Brady, Saluski Kane, show y'all can fill that other safety role. You know, that's it, honestly. That's it. Well, everyone, that's it for today's show. We want to do our closing remarks and we're going to get out of here. Go ahead and start with you, Shannon.
Um, I just want to say shout out to Adam Jones. He went into the Orioles Hall of Fame. I think it was over the weekend, like Saturday. So shout out to him for that. Love him for this. I love what he did for the city. Love what he do for the city. He's still like you would think he was from here. Like I love when guys play for the city and like don't want to leave. I love it. Um, Definitely was sad to see Cedric Mullins go.
Oh, nice.
But good luck to him and everybody else who got traded as well. And I hope that we can get some extensions done. The Orioles are like one of the only teams not extending their young guys, and we have some young guys, somebody who's a rookie of the year. Like, how do you not attempt to start working on extensions before you outprice yourself, or are these new owners just as cheap as the last owners? Time will tell.
Well said, Shannon. Go ahead, David.
I'm just glad it's football season, and to piggyback on Shannon, big ups Adam Jones. That's my all-time favorite Oriole. So yeah, man. I'm just glad it's football season. I'm ready for some football, man.
Uh, I don't have too much to say. Well, football's back. We're not gonna go another Sunday with football until the second week of February. So it's here. Um, you know, Regular season be here in about 3 weeks. Thursday night, Cowboys Eagles. So
Hmm.
everybody, like I said, get y'all team apparel and stuff. Start booking start getting your game tickets if you like going to the games. Start booking your early road game trips, all that stuff like that. But like I said, it's here. It's back. And everybody just make sure you have a safe weekend. Enjoy the games. Stay hydrated. It's supposed to be a little hot. That's all. So for
Yeah.
wait, Dave.
Oh no, I ain't nothing. I was just saying, yeah.
Sound like Ron Simmons. Yeah. Playing for real. Damn. Anyway, from your boy JP, from our MVP co-host, Miss Shannon Fitch. Super Dave is back. Back better than ever. He's been already back. I will see y'all next Thursday, same time. We're gonna do one show until, like I said, the regular season. Then we'll kick off that, our two shows, the preparation. Basically, after that Thursday night game, that Tuesday, we'll be getting to it and stuff like that. So yeah, we love y'all guys. Have a great weekend, and also y'all know what I'm about to say. Make sure y'all trade. It's right there in the title. Talk Ravens all day, every day. I'm your host Justin P. My two MVP co-hosts Shannon Finch and Super Dave, aka David Woods. Love y'all guys. We'll see y'all next time.
Good night,
All right,
guys.
man. Peace, man. I'll take